Hi everybody, Katie Spencer White here, and I wanted to shoot a quick video today giving you, well, as many of you know, I'm a home educator and an ex-solicitor, and so I wanted to shoot a really quick video outlining for people a brief quick start guide to the law of home education in England and Wales. Because it's something that we get asked a lot when we're out and about. Today's a Monday, and we're going to be going out in a little while, and it's people are curious and they want to know. But also, I think there's a lot of people who are confused, and a lot of the information that you get from your local authority will confuse you even more. So I'm going to give you a quick run through of the key things you want to know. Now, there's three aspects of the law that most people are curious about. First is, what are my rights and responsibilities as a home educator? The Education Act, 1996, makes it your responsibility as a parent to ensure that your child is receiving a suitable and efficient education, taking into account any special educational needs that they may have or abilities that they may have. Now, what that means is education is compulsory, school is not. Because the Act actually goes on to say that parents can discharge this duty by having their child attend school or otherwise. Home education falls into this otherwise category. If you're educating your child otherwise than at school, you're probably a home educator. So you have a responsibility for making sure that your child is receiving a suitable and efficient education. You need to take into account any abilities or special educational needs they have, and that also means that if you have a child with special educational needs, you do have the right to educate them at home. Now, how do you get started? Well, first I should say, what does suitable and efficient mean? Efficient just means that you're achieving what you have set out to achieve, and suitable means that you're preparing them, essentially, for life. Now, there's a lot of backstory to a lot of this stuff, and so where appropriate, I'm going to post some links. And one of the first links you're going to want to check out is the Elective Home Education Guidelines for Local Authorities. And I'm going to post a link right up there. So make sure that you check out those elective home education guidelines for local authorities, because they will give you a lot of bread and butter stuff to follow along with this. Alright, so once you've decided that you're going to educate otherwise than by attendance at school, how do you get started? Well, there's two ways to go about getting started. The first way is either you have not actually sent your child to school ever. You have a 3-year-old or 4-year-old, and you're trying to decide whether or not to get them a place at a school. If you haven't filled out any paperwork and you're taking that decision before they've attended school, then it's pretty straightforward. You just carry on as you do. You don't have to inform anybody. If, however, your child is already attending school, then you need to deregister them, and you need to do that in writing. It's pretty straightforward. All you need to do is write to the head teacher of the school where your child is attending and simply inform them that as at a certain date, your child will no longer be attending their school. There's one of my little homeschoolers right now playing in the sand. So once you inform the school, the head teacher, in writing, that your child will be leaving school as at a certain date, you need to ask the head teacher to remove their name from the register of pupils. You can send this letter either, a lot of people will suggest that you do it by recorded delivery. Some people like to hand deliver it. I myself have deregistered 2 children, and I've done it both times by email. I find it very straightforward. It's date and time stamped, and it's efficient for me. Oftentimes head teachers will try to call you in for a meeting. Let me just be very clear here. You are under no obligation to meet with anybody, and you don't need the head teacher's permission to deregister your child. Once you've taken the decision and you've put it in writing, they are required by law to remove your child's name from the register, and that should be that. Now, they may inform the local authority, well, they have a duty to inform the local authority that your child is no longer on the register of pupils. And if that's the case, and being that that is the case, the local authority will oftentimes get in contact with you. Most local authorities have something called an elective home education support officer. That support officer will oftentimes want to set up a meeting with you. Let me just reassure you that any meetings of this nature are optional. You do not have to meet with anybody. In the case of a child who's attending a special educational school, you do need to consult with the head teacher and get their consent to deregister your child. That consent should not be unreasonably withheld. Alright, so once you've deregistered your child, then what? Who's going to keep track of what you're doing? And the short answer to that is nobody is required by law to keep track of much. The local authority has an obligation in law to keep track, so far as it's possible, of children who are not receiving a suitable and efficient education. So they may contact you to confirm that you are home educating. Those initial inquiries should just be very, very broad-based. It should just be a matter of, we hear you're home educating, can you confirm that this is the case? And if so, can you give us some very general description of what it is? Ooh, another home educating child. Of what it is, the type of the education that you're providing your child. They should not be asking you to submit schemes of work, curriculum, or to be asking to be meeting with you or your child. They don't have any responsibility in law to be doing that, especially unless and until they think that you are not providing a suitable and efficient education. But as long as it, on the face of it, appears that you are, they should be leaving you well and truly alone. Now, who monitors your provision? Nobody. This means that you can educate your child any way that you want. You can buy in a curriculum, you can design your own curriculum, or you can autonomously educate your child. That's also called unschooling. You have the right to do it any way that you want. We're very lucky. The law in the UK is very much in the parents' favor when it comes to home education. It's very flexible, it's quite enjoyable, and if you're considering it, please jump in, have a go. If you have any other questions, make sure that I'm going to leave some details down below, my contact details, so you can get in touch with me. I'm also going to put some details down for some other home education support organizations who have a lot of detailed guidance on their websites. And lastly, if you haven't already, make contact with people in Facebook. I cannot stress enough, or in Google Plus or any social networking. The home education community in this country is absolutely fabulous, and you will get more support from other home educators than you can possibly ever imagine. From a national level to home educators locally, you'll be surprised at how many people are home educating and who live in and around your own community. It's been a fantastic resource for me, and I do encourage you to make contact with other home educators. That's it. That's all you need to know. It's legal. Just deregister your child if they're in school, in writing, and then do what you want to do, where you want to do it, how you want to do it. Alright folks, that's it from me. If you have any questions, get in touch, make contact. Please like the video, because that makes sure that other people, the way the algorithm works, it makes sure that other people get to see it. I will see you next time. Take care folks. Bye.